Hi guys, I welcome you all to day 50 of our anthropology lecture series. So very small topic in our religion chapter was left, so we'll complete it today, and from tomorrow we are going to start the I would say the most important chapter, the basis of anthropology, and a lot of things are going to get clear once you read those theories. So they are most important from paper point of view, also has a lot of weightage, and we are going to take like more than 10 lectures bhi ja sakta hai to complete it, because I'll take you to the nitty gritties of it. So please stay tuned and let's start with our today's topic. So basically today we are going to study about religious functionaries. So basically, who are religious functionaries? So in religion we believe that there is a supernatural, right? A supernatural being that is all powerful, right? And to reach this all powerful being, we think that there is people who have direct connection with these supernatural beings. That is, there are certain people who can be our a link between the supernatural, and these are the religious functionaries. And this supernatural being, because it is all powerful and we need to persuade them to do what we want them to do for us, these religious functionaries do certain rituals, certain activities to persuade these gods, right? So this is the idea of ritual religious functionaries. So if we have to talk about today, the modern times, only priest would be there. Mostly in all religions there is priest. You can call it from any name, right? You can call it father, you can call it sister, you can call it a priest, pandit. Then they are all the name of same person or the same position that they are holding in each religion. But in the primitive societies, or we should say the simple societies, there are a lot more religious functionaries that exist there. So the first one is shaman. So basically shaman, this word has come from Tungas of Siberia, you can say, from Tungas of Siberia. They were a tribe of nomadic herders or marginal cultivators of Central Asia. So this word came from there. They are magico-religious functionaries. So आप एक चीज समझ गए, magic plus religious, right? So magico-religious functionary है, which will perform the functions of both. They are intermediates between people and the supernatural. Okay. It is also called a medicine man. ठीक है? So now shaman is also called a medicine man. It is a part-time, you would say, it is a part-time specialist who would perform these magico-religious things. Now you need to understand the concept of part-time and full-time. See, when the societies are hunter-gatherers, ठीक है? हमने we have time and again talked about this, that whenever the societies are not very stratified or hierarchical, or you can say more of egalitarian societies where everybody, and not non-specialized societies basically. So उसमें basically होता क्या है, people are doing the same thing, everybody is doing hunting gathering, right? They are trying to make their ends meet, right? Everything is revolving around the day to day production and consumption. So they are not bothered about, or they do not have the time to think about other things. The complexity will only come once the societies become to more start becoming more complex, right? With marginal cultivation coming in, right? There would be surplus. That means now not everybody is required in production, and there can be more consumption, right? If 10 people are producing, maybe 20 can eat. So now what are these 10 going to do? So from there the specialization comes, and other kind of rituals, complexity in the society comes, hierarchy comes, right? So these shamans would mostly be in the societies which are not very specialized. That means they are hunter gatherers, they are marginal cultivators, but there is little bit of specialization, because उसी की वजह से तो some kind of a position like a medicine man or a shaman has come in, right? So this thing you understand. Now basically this shaman is a person who would cure diseases, right? Who would have a direct link, or people would think have a direct link with the divinity, right? It could also indulge in sorcery, so we'll study about sorcery. It would also pray to the god for good crops, good fortune, cure diseases, right? That is why when he'll cure diseases, that is why he'll be called the medicine man. So he is doing multiple functions. Priestly function is also doing. He's doing पुराने time के doctors का function he is also doing. So he is doing many things when he is curing disease, because in those societies they relate every illness, drought, famine, anything with the supernatural, because that is beyond their understanding. So they feel that illness is due to it is the wrath of the supernatural. So that is why they would heal it with a more supernatural वो वाला angle से, right? It's not like they'll take a medicine and do it, right? It's the same way they will pray to the god, they'll do certain rituals and then they will try to heal it. So again, good crops, good fortune, because earthquakes, floods, they do not understand these concepts. So again they link it to the wrath of God. So all of this is there. So इसमें एक type का shaman you will see in South American coastal communities. वहाँ पे क्या होता है, this medicine man would take a periodic voyage to the sea, because these coastal communities are too much dependent on the fish, or that fishes and the resources that they get from the sea. So every year to get a good harvest, that means कि उनको अच्छे resources मिलते रहे sea से, the medicine man would take a periodic voyage. ठीक है? It's again a way of कि उनको crops, because they are not indulged into crops, they are into fishing communities. So for उनको fish अच्छी मिलती रहे, they get good fishes and all of that, and they live happily. So they take a periodic voyage. Now one or two things, he's a part-time specialist. That means other time apart from जैसे उसको एक periodic sea voyage लेनी है, ठीक है, or sometimes somebody is ill and he has to cure that disease. It is not that he is only doing this. No, he is very normal person in the group. That means apart from any unusual activities that he has to perform on regular or day to day thing, he is just like a very normal person in that group. That means he does not have a very different status attached to it, because today what happens is priest has a very high status, right? So even we have seen in our ancient times, priest would have a status higher than the rulers, right, or kings. Not only in India but in the Western cultures also, right? So Pope would hold the highest status from the kings and monarchs, right? So this is how it is. But this person, this medicine man, though he is the person who's the link between the supernatural and all of that, but he is not a full-time specialist. He's mostly a male member, and he does not have any different status. So that means the societies are still egalitarian. Okay, you need to understand this thing. Then now how is this person thought ki this would be the medicine man? They show these kind of characteristics from the very beginning of their life. For example, they would believe that in Eskimos what happens is any child who has more inclination towards drumming, right, or in Angami Nagas, any child who has certain kind of dreams, from the very childhood, they believe that this person has that link with the god. So that is how they choose, or they believe that this person is going to be our medicine man or shaman, right? So egalitarian societies hoti hai, and it does a integrating function. How integrating? Because now this person is the link. Okay, so every activity is actually the activity which is taken on collectively by the group. Because क्या functions है इसके? Functions है curing disease, ठीक है, divinity, sorcery, good crops, good fortune. These are all the needs of the society as a whole. So the whole society would request that person to take the sea voyage for the good crops, good fortune, right? All these things they are doing for the group, right? So that is how this integrates, right? So this is a person who has a positive outlook, but not every a religious functionary that we are going to study will have a positive thing. For example, you see sorcery, right? So sorcery is very much you can say it is related to magic, okay, and magic in a negative way. This is, of course, this is not the primitive and tribal kind of sorcery that we are talking about. This is the modern type, very modern witch, right? We can say, वैसे तो we should never say this thing. You know, recently I was reading in the article yesterday, or maybe day before yesterday, there was this two ladies were touted as witches in Kerala, and they were like killed, you know, brutally they were killed in some village. So this shows that these kind of beliefs that people are witches or people are sorcerers even today exist, right? So इससे problem क्या होता है कि these are things which does not have any scientific bias, sorry, scientific evidence. So it creates a bias, and the people who are touted as witches or sorcerers, they are often treated very badly, and especially this black magic wala thing is very much closely associated to the females, right? So they are many a times raped, they are, you know, उनके साथ all kind of negative kind of things happen, and they are ostracized from the group. So even till today, after so many years, people believe in this, and because there is inadequate knowledge, right? So governments, even though there is no national law on it, but many states have passed their individual laws on it. झारखंड ने किया हुआ है, बहुत सारी और states ने किया हुआ है. So this topic again is in news, so that is why I was just telling you about this कि ये थोड़ा news में भी है. So let's now understand कि witchcraft and sorcery क्या होती है. These are also functionaries, but religious नहीं बोल सकते. These are magico-religious functionaries, right? So witchcraft basically has been defined as harmful antisocial attitude. Basically इसमें you are trying to harm somebody, okay? Like in religion, or what the shaman is trying to do, he is doing a positive thing, right? He is trying to cure things. But in witchcraft, in magic, what you are trying to do, you are trying to harm the society or any individual. And it is believed that these people, like the shaman who has this connect with the god, it is believed that these witches have these witches possess evil powers. That means they have negative powers, and they have pact with the devil. So it is like the other way around. उधर positively God के साथ है, यहाँ पे evil के साथ है, right? So they have the power of harming the community, which is like very wrong. मतलब this should not be believed. So it is the endeavor of the government to bring people out of these superstition and practices in the modern times. Obviously, because these many states, you know, abhi bhi there are deaths happening because people are, you know, touting females as witches, and then they are hunting down these witches in their own way, right? So this is a very bad practice. A witch is a female with inherent supernatural power to harm others, ठीक है? A sorcerer is a conscious individual endowed with evil intentions, malice and hatred, having magical powers. Now difference is only this much, that a sorcerer is mostly a male, whereas witch is a female, ठीक है? So even though sorcerer इतना ज़्यादा it's not believed, okay? थोड़ा बहुत even that is also there, but witch का तो witches को तो आज भी मानते कि, you know, they exist and they do this black magic and all, ठीक है? So then the last and the one of the important religious functionary is priest, okay? So priest कौन होता है? He is a religious leader authorized to perform the sacred rituals of a religion. So he is a religious leader and he performs the rituals, right, of a religion, ठीक है? Especially as a mediatory agent between human and the one or more deities. Of course, you and your God, उनके बीच में जो एक intermediary person है ना, who is the link, is the priest. They also, अब now the difference is that they are there in non-egalitarian और hierarchical societies. ये shaman से different कैसे हैं? Because they exist in hierarchical societies, they exist in they exist as a full time specialist. So ये दो बहुत बड़े difference you should understand, क्योंकि societies are so much complex today and religion has evolved so much that today एक part time specialist से काम नहीं चलता. There has to be a full time specialist, a full time religious leader who is going to perform these sacred rituals, who is going to be the mediatory agent between humans and deities. ठीक है. So this authority or power to administer religious rites, ठीक है, in particular the rites of sacrifice etc. जैसे rites of sacrifice वगैरह क्या हो गए, you know, many rites you can say. आज के टाइम पे कुछ भी हो, ठीक है, it is marriage, it is childbirth, it is funerary rites in many religion or you can say cultures. ये सब एक priest के द्वारा we solemnize all of these through a priest, because he is the person we believe that he has the apt knowledge for it. He knows what is best and how to perform those rituals, right? So in order matlab, though we all believe in God, but then we do not perform those rituals on our own, we call these priests. The office or position of priesthood, a term which may also apply to such persons collectively. So of course ये collectively priesthood बोलेंगे ना, मतलब all the priests together we'll call them priesthood. Okay, a priest may have the duty to hear confessions periodically, give marriage counseling, provide pre-nuptial counseling, give spiritual direction. So now this priest, जैसे कि shaman का भी अपना काम है ना, apart from only doing for मतलब सिर्फ good crops, good fortune. Today the priest, you know, it's उसके functions थोड़े different हैं than a shaman. कैसे? Because he acts, first of all he acts as a religious counselor. Whenever you find there is a dichotomy or there is any doubt regarding any religion, the first person anybody would look up to, any religious this mediatory agent or priest. Priest कुछ भी हो सकता है, you know, if you are belonging to any sect in Hinduism, ठीक है, वो अगर मान लो आप बुद्धिज्म में बिलीव करते हो तो बुद्धा जी वो हो सकते हैं. यू मे लुक एट बुद्धा जी, उनके लाइफ, ठीक है, आप उनको मान लो, ठीक है. देन अगर आप किसी और रिलीजन में बिलीव करते हो, जैसे आप सिखिज्म में हो तो आप किसी भी गुरु को मान सकते हो, ठीक है. सो वो कोई भी हो सकता है. वेन एवर यू फाइंड दैट देर इज सर्टेन डाउट्स दैट यू हैव और यू वॉन्ट टू मेक सम कन्फेशन, द फर्स्ट पर्सन यू विल go to is a priest. Then marriage counseling, in a way they also regulate the society and religion, ठीक है. तो जैसे बहुत सारी मूवीज़ में भी हमें दिखाया ना, बाजीराव मस्तानी में भी दिखाया है कि जब बाजीराव ने शादी करी थी मस्तानी से, तो हाउ दीज प्रीस्ट दे वर लाइक they were rejecting it or questioning his marriage, right? So all these things, prenuptial counseling hogi, before marriage counseling, right? So they do these functions and they are full-time specialists in a hierarchical society. So this is one of the difference between shamans and priests. So I hope you understood this topic, guys. This was today's lecture was a little short because this was only left in this chapter. Tomorrow we are going to start with a very important chapter. I'm saying it again, and please do not miss it. So I hope you guys liked it. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.